You've worked so hard. Don't wreck it now. Come on, Dr. Berg. Do it. Dr. Berg, put it down. What are you doing? Come on, you don't know that this is gonna cause a long, slow, painful death? Take your chances. Dr. Berg, you know that's gonna be bad for your sleep. And you know how much you need your sleep. Come on, we're all gonna die of something. That's gonna interfere with your fat burning for the next 72 hours. Do it. You're gonna be craving it again in the morning. Just a little bit this one time. Don't fall for the trap. Put it down. Just do it.
So I know this might be hard to believe, but some people are actually addicted to carbohydrates. I know, it's pretty strange, isn't it? Well, I want to talk about what happens in the brain when someone has an addiction to carbs, okay? There's a little center, it's a little nucleus, a tiny little cell body called the nucleus accumbens, and it's deep in the brain. If you were to kind of just go right in this way, at this level, it's way deep inside there, right in the center. And this nucleus is part of the reward system of the body. It uses dopamine as its main neurotransmitter, also GABA and serotonin. And these neurotransmitters are intimately involved with creating this pleasure sensation. So when this nucleus is stimulated through certain recreational drugs, alcohol, tobacco, sex, exercise, and sugar, we'll come back to this one. These are the triggers that cause this little cell body to release these neurotransmitters to give you the sensation. These do not give you the sensation directly. They do it indirectly through this system right here. So the pleasure that you feel from any of these is really your own body's chemicals, okay? Now, sugar is a really big trigger for this nucleus right here. On an MRI, when people take sugar, this center lights up like a laser, okay? So it's involved in the release of dopamine and pleasure. And people get pleasure by consuming refined carbohydrates because the refined carbohydrates turn right into sugar pretty quickly. Now, the problem is too much of this stimulus downgrades the receptor for dopamine. And now you're not satisfied. So you need a little bit more and a little bit more until eventually you create an addiction. All right, now the difference between an addiction and a craving is in the addiction, the consequences don't bother you much anymore. You're just going to go ahead and do it without the thought of the consequences. So some people have high willpower and some people have low power. I'm going to talk about how to increase your willpower. And part of it is improving this physical structure in your brain. All right, so number one, you want to avoid certain environments that expose you to sugar, okay? So I'm talking about restaurants mainly. Or even if you go to Disney World and these other places, there's so much sugar around. So you want to limit your exposure to environmental sugar, okay? So that's number one. And number two, you don't want to keep any sugar in the house. If your spouse, if your kids like sugar, you're going to have to all come to a group agreement. And if they're going to keep it, in the house, they're going to have to hide it very well because you just don't want to be exposed to it. You don't want to have it in the cupboard waiting for you and talking to you and calling out to you late at night. Okay, number three, get your pleasure from being healthy and looking healthy. And with that, you want to do healthy keto and intermittent fasting. I put a link for those of you that are new, but many of you are already on that, and you are getting a lot of pleasure from being healthy. When you do healthy keto and intermittent fasting, your mood elevates, your cognitive function improves, okay? So you are going to be generally happier. Compared to when your blood sugars are crashing, you're running on sugar, you're like roller coastering all the time with low blood sugar problems. Now, I already talked about keto and IF being essential, but because this will reset the nucleus accumbens, because you're taking away the thing that's creating the receptor problem. And so now the receptor will go back to normal. And then when your body starts burning ketones, your brain loves it. And these ketones will help heal the damage in the brain, because this is located in the part of the brain called the limbic system where the body can regenerate that brain tissue. So that's fortunate. And lastly, vitamin B1 has the potential to increase your dopamine levels. By taking B1 within minutes, you'll just feel like a huge stress relief and calmness. Part of that is because the increase in dopamine. All right, guys, thanks for watching.
Dr. Berg, you know how that gave you rumblies in the tummy. That was embarrassing.
I don't think this is going to work. Lunch meat, lunch loaf, lunch and loaf. No one's going to want to crave that. So we'll just put this away. Hey guys, real quick, I have a new healthy keto eating plan for you. Just go to drberg.com. It's right on the front page. I put a link down below. Download it. It's free. Check it out.